Howdy, howdy, everybody. Welcome live here on Northwoods TCG. Thank you guys for joining me. I see there's a few people out there, so greatly appreciated considering I know PK is going over it right now and it has to do about GameStop, and that's going to be part of the discussion here as well. So tonight, let me shut one thing off. I'm tired of that. Okay. Got distracting lights over here. Just want to do a couple of just go-overs on things that are happening in Pokemon TCG. Now, if nobody has seen it today, there was one video that was released by the Pokemon international company that came out on their Facebook page, on their YouTube page. It was pretty much put everywhere out there, and that is the potential of a new evolution. That's right, that's been something that's been discussed. It's been something that's been pushed around for a while. The last evolution that was added into the Pokemon TCG line was back in XY with Sylveon. So it's been a little while since we've seen a new evolution brought into the fold, and from what they kind of showed or represented there, I think that there's a good possibility that we could definitely be having that as well. So just something to be considering and something that could be changing here in the near future. Really, really cool. I'm excited for a new evolution. Let me know in the chat. Are you guys excited about a new evolution? Time to change things up a little bit. Throw in a dragon type, maybe a steel type. There's a lot of different typings out there that still don't have the love, including a flying type. That was the other one that we were discussing too on a little side chat, that it's a flying type out there opportunity as well. If you go dragon flying type evolution, I hope they don't do a flying type. Evolution's a ground type Pokemon. Let's just be 100% honest. It'd be weird to see a flying one, but making a evolution with a dragon type, that would be just as cool. Overall, let me know in chat. What do you guys think? What would be a really cool evolution that's kind of missing out there currently? And I know I've seen some fan art that's just fantastic. I think there's some good opportunities. Overall, some really good things that are potentially that they could do, and I think that it could be a lot of fun to see that kind of change in the Pokemon TCG, and definitely a cool new evolution line coming in the Scarlet and Violet era, which also means that we could potentially be seeing an evolution set, which is even hotter when it comes down to the opportunities that could present itself from a set like that, kind of like we've seen with Eevee Heroes. But we do know that there is a dragon set coming out as well, so maybe in the Japanese we might see another combination like we did with Evolving Skies. So there's a lot of possibilities out there currently when it comes down to that, and what opportunities might be occurring here in the near future in the Scarlet and Violet. It's about time that it does shift that way. I think a lot of us have been expecting it. Yeah, iFOMO, thank you iFOMO for joining into the chat, greatly appreciated. Ghost type would be fire for an evolution as well. I think that would be really awesome to see a ghost typing. I mean, there's a lot of different typing that I think would be really awesome when it comes down to that. And it's going to be really cool to see where they go. And there's going to be some nice new sets coming. There's definitely going to be some new opportunities with the new evolution if it happens. It's speculating. I mean, in the video that they showed, I will link it down below after the video, after this, for anybody that comes in after the live, that you could actually go ahead and see the video and make the judgment yourself. I mean, it's Eevee running around with all the evolutions, and the video pretty much says what will Eevee evolve into, and it's Eevee running with all the evolutions next to Eevee on each side down the field, and that just puts a big speculation into it. And once again, it wouldn't be surprising. There would be no surprise at this point in time. I think it's something that'd be really, 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 really good for them to do at this point in time. I think it's time. I think it's time for a new evolution. I think it'll be a good expansion, and I think it'll go in a really good direction for the fan base of the Pokemon TCG. Now, let's talk about another thing in the news, GameStop. Now, I haven't gotten into this discussion. I've been kind of leaving it for the live. And I know that Pokemon Knowledge is currently doing a live right now talking about GameStop. There's also been a lot of other creators touching on this. And overall, I just want to put out my feelings on GameStop doing buybacks on particular cards. Personally, it scares me. To just be 100% honest, how they're going to do this, what's going to happen, how they're going to lay it out. They don't have any experts. Trust me, I know my GameStop. I talked to them right after I heard the news because I went there last weekend. And they are pretty much dreading the idea of when now this is rolling out, because like they said, like the one guy said behind the counter, they don't have anybody professionally trained. So it sounds like, and I don't know how this is going to work, and how it's kind of how he explained it is that they're going to give you in-store credit, and they're going to ship them back and get them checked before the credit becomes valid. Now, I don't know if that's how it is. That's how he was speculating it was going to go, because they hadn't quite kicked it off at that point in time. But I hope they at least do something like that, because let's be 100% honest. It's really scary to think that these staff members who have very little training on how to identify real or fake cards is going to be able to do that professionally in a good way, that you know that you're actually rotating good cards through without people finally taking their fakes with the Chinese slabs that are coming out and taking them to GameStop just to dump them off and get some money for them that they would normally not be able to do. So it's definitely a big factor when it comes down to it. And like I said, I'm sure Pokemon Knowledge is probably breaking this down more. There are some other channels now bringing out videos that they're testing it and giving all the information on it. I haven't had time to sit down and watch those particular videos, but it's just something I wanted to just kind of hit on, is that it is a concern for me as well, how this is all going to lay out. I mean, when you buy slabs, or when you are actually potentially looking at getting slabs from someplace, you definitely want to know that's from a reliable source, and that the slabs that are coming in are a real slab, and that there's no funny business going on. And I don't feel that every GameStop store is going to have a person with enough professional knowledge to be able to clean through and get good slabs versus bad slabs. I'm sure that they're probably going to, then just me, they're probably going to check the cert numbers of every single one of those. But there again, there are some slabs that print out that cert number. So, I mean, we know that there's people that take a base set Charizard and steal the cert numbers and make their own tags. I mean, that's just a factor that we could be seeing. So it's going to be really interesting. Overall, I think it's going to be something to watch, and it's going to be kind of interesting to see how this plays out. And how long will GameStop continue to do it? That's going to be the other question that really should be asked, is this going to be a longevity thing for GameStop, or is this going to be something that's going to be short-lived? They're going to try it. They're going to find out how difficult it is. They're going to find out how many scam cards they get through, how many issues they start to find, and then they start to back out of it just because they realize it's not as easy as they thought to be able to do that. So that's another news topic that's currently going on. Another one that's occurring that's actually kind of interesting that Pokemon just announced as well is that they are opening up Pokemon Center in New Zealand and also in Australia. So my content followers here on the channel that are from Australia and New Zealand, I know there's a few of you out there, will now have access to Pokemon Center coming up in the next couple months. So they're supposed to have a rollout of that. I believe June 1st is what I read on their post on that went out on Instagram. So Instagram, they had a post. They also had it on, of course, all their normal sites. So they announced it out to every place. But yes, they will now have access to Pokemon Center, which will be a really big advantage for some of those markets that have not had that access and did not have a Pokemon Center with full access. So it's a really cool that they're actually rolling that out now for those particular countries. Awesome. I mean, it's great to see these kind of things kind of continuing to change. Currently, I've not seen them making any notification that they're going after any new markets when it comes down to selling cards, but they're definitely opening up the Pokemon Center for New Zealand and also for the Australia. So that's a really cool fact and really awesome to be hearing. Overall, I think that Pokemon's going in the right direction on a lot of different things currently. I think that there's some really good opportunities that Pokemon's taking and really doing some expansions. I think right now they're completely caught up finally in that simplified Chinese to where they are with current sets. So overall, they're now up to date. So we are going to be seeing less of those older products showing up in the simplified Chinese now that they're all up to date and caught up. And now I think it's going to be really interesting to see, is Pokemon going to go after another market? Is Pokemon going to continue to kind of just stay where it is currently and keep moving forward at where things are going? And overall, I think that it's going to be a really interesting time here moving forward, especially with things changing and Scarlet and Violet still not catching like we were hoping it would. Let's be honest, 151 has done really well. It's probably been the best set of Scarlet and Violet to date. I think that there's some really good sets and there's some really good cards and artwork in it. But overall, it just doesn't seem to be catching as fast as we would have hoped at this point in time. Being almost a year and a half into the Scarlet and Violet block, we really do like to see some things change and some things really move forward. So overall, news is just news, and it just continues to move forward. We got new sets coming. We do have, of course, Twilight Masquerade will be releasing here, and pre-release tournaments are all available at this point in time. So this weekend and last weekend were going to be your pre-release tournaments. Once again, really good set, really strong set. Let me know. I have not had a chance to look at the set list, nor have I had any interest to. Let me know in chat if anybody knows that Eevee card, that Illustrator Eevee card that's out there. Did they make that a promo? Please tell me no. Just someone in the chat, put my mind at ease and tell me that that bad boy is in the set. That would make me so happy that they actually put that in the set for actually a set card, not making it a promo. I figured they pull it out and make it a promo. So That's where my feelings were on it, but I have not looked. Once again, Twilight Masquerade hitting the shelves as we speak. We've also got new Japanese sets being announced coming up here. So we're continuing to move forward. Things are continuing to ride like they always do. We should be getting notification on a holiday set as well. Just for other news that should be coming up here in the near future. We should be getting some holiday set news, especially coming closer to the holiday season. June is typically the time frame when we start hearing about these particular items. We had Pokemon 151 last year. We should be getting a new set here this year, a new holiday set coming as well. So a lot of things, a lot of news, a lot of things that are going to occur here, and it's going to be really, really cool to see where things are going here. Also, a reminder for anybody out there too with news-wise, if you are actually looking at purchasing sets for Scarlet and Violet, now would be a time to be saving a little bit of money, because typically during the holiday seasons when we're going to see reprint. That's when we might see Obsidian Flame reprinted, we might see Paldea Evolved reprinted, Paradox Rift, even 151. We might be seeing some of those particular items reprinted as well. One last thing too for news-wise as the beginning of this video is going to be Japanese 151 booster box reprints have hit. So as of the 14th, they have finally, as of today, they have hit. I'm seeing the reprints come through on multiple channels. We're starting to see a little bit more price dip. But to be 100% honest with you, a lot of channels, a lot of places that I've talked to are not going to be going down as low as they were pre the before this. So, you know, we might see some drop down into that 70s range. We'll see how much makes it to the United States on the market. Overall, I'm hearing that it's going to be about $85, maybe $80 for the booster boxes from most of the places I've talked to, even on TikTok and that. They have some coming. They have a decent amount coming, but not as much as some of them expected to be able to get. So overall, either A, things that have occurred in this particular market is too many people bought so much of it in the United States that the distributors there just can't get it out as much as heavy as they thought. Or number two, there wasn't as big of a reprint as some people were expecting. And with that happening, of course, we're going to see less of it being put into the market. So, and less opportunity for U.S. companies and U.S. buyers to be able to get a hold of that. I keep saying distribution, and it's a wrong word to use. They pretty much are distribution. There's some big players and big people in the hobby that do get a lot of Japanese and give you a lot of opportunity, but they are not distributors. They are just secondary buyers, and they are the people that we purchase from that distribute it out to us throughout the United States. So just a heads up on that. So if I do say distributor, I do apologize. There are no U.S. distributors for Japanese Pokemon. It's just all secondary buyers. But that's what we're looking at as well. So just keep that in mind, that if you are looking at those Pokemon 151 from Japan, definitely take your chances to keep watching and potentially get the opportunities if the prices do fall. I'm hearing 80. 80 is probably going to be the rock bottom. That's the cheapest. 85 right now is the cheapest I can find it from. Another place I talked to on TikTok and on Instagram both said they may go down to 80 depending on how much they get flushed. So you might see some $80 booster boxes out there, but do you really think that it's not going to recover fairly quickly back up to 85? So overall, 85 might be a good buy-in point. If you want to wait it out and see if it's going to go lower, then you can wait it out and see if it goes to 80. But if it starts creeping back up fairly quickly, then you may want to jump on it, because I got a feeling it'll go over $100 fairly quick again. Even with the dumping we had in the United States, it quickly recovered and started to go back up towards that $100 range. I think in general, this booster box, once we get through this reprint threat, it's a $100 booster box all day. I think there's the popularity between the Master Ball chase and the overall hit chases, God Pack chases. I mean, there's a lot of different chasing aspects inside of the Pokemon TCG, and it's definitely going to be a factor for how well that performs overall. And there's a lot of hype behind that set. It's one of the best sets out of Scarlet and Violet, and it's showing, and it just continues to get reprint, more stock, more product, and then it goes down and it rebounds fairly quickly. I think that's exactly what we're gonna continue to see. So basically that's what I wanted to cover for news. Those were really the big topic items. Of course, a new evolution, a huge news factor if it's going to happen. They are definitely leading to it, and even when you were, like, if you click the link down below, you know, are you excited? A new evolution, or for a new evolution, was underneath their hashtag. You're down in the or on the, if you clicked on the one link, it actually had that down there for putting into the chat. I'm excited for a new evolution was the chat word that they put into it. So it's pretty much, I think we're getting a new evolution. It's just going to be interesting to see what typing they give it. Like I said, ghost type, I absolutely love iFOMO's idea. I would love to see a ghost type evolution. I'm actually really excited. I'm an evolutions fan, so I'm really excited to see what they come out with. I just hope it's something really, really good. I hope it's a dragon type, or, you know, a ghost type, a steel type, you know, something like that would be really, really awesome. A really cool typing to really kick off another evolution chase, along with potentially, if they're releasing a new evolution, possibly a new evolution set coming forward. So definitely really, really cool, really awesome. Hopefully you guys are excited as I am. Yeah, iFOMO Steel. I think Steel type would be really cool Pokemon, personally, to see a Steel type evolution. Pokemon Center opening up in Australia and New Guinea, so there's a good expansion for Pokemon Center and giving access to a new grouping. Yeah, fighting type. I'm liking the chat now. I'm starting to see some guys. So let me know in the chat. I see there's about 16 people out there. Put in a fighting or a type of evolution that you would like to see. A new type of evolution that's not currently out there. So what would you like to see them add in? What would be a really cool evolution? Put it in the chat. That'd be really cool to see what you guys come up with. That's a really cool cool aspect that I thought was really awesome to see. That XY last evolution. We got Sylveon in the XY era, which was a fairy type, which its typing no longer exists, so that got a little bit interesting. But yeah, that's whatever we're at, though. For news-wise, GameStop, going to be interesting to see how this continues to roll out. After this, I will definitely be watching Pokemon Knowledge's stream there, where he's got Nick in there. So see what they actually come up with as what they found. It sounded like they tried to go and do it and find out what happened. So otherwise, guys, like I said, chat's open as always. I'm going to go through as you guys put them in there. Once again, I'm liking the fighting type. Fighting type seems to be really popular. It'd be really cool to see a fighting type Pokemon, that's for sure. Fighting type would be a cool one. Steel, I like the idea of Steel. I do like the iFOMO, so I'm going to do a quick, just see who's in the chat real quick now that I've seen some comments come through. But iFOMO, once again, thank you so much for being here and being a #1 mod for my chat. Greatly appreciated. Refine Me Mega Shining Umbreon VMAX EX. That would be really sweet. Any Mega, I think, inside of there, you know, like even iFOMO said, why do I have a feeling they're going to Mega Evolve and Evolution? It's about time. I think it's deserving of a Mega Evolution. It'd be really cool to see like you said, a Mega Shining Umbreon or a Mega Shiny Flareon or Jolteon, any of them. Imagine them in a Mega form. That'd be really, really cool. Definitely a good, with the hype and the FOMO behind evolutions right now, it would definitely be a huge chase to get that new rarity with that Mega Chase. You know, imagine an SAR Mega Shiny, you know, evolution. It'd just be a absolute fight and chase for those particular cards after what we've seen. An Umbreon, like you said, a Mega Shiny Umbreon or a Mega Umbreon not a VMAX, but a Mega Umbreon EX would be just absolutely awesome and would be an ultimate chase. You would be having people just like Evolving Skies, just that the pricing would just skyrocket on there. But with Pokemon knowing what they do now, they might crank the printers. Them things will be going, as Rudy would say, the printers go burr continuously to try and make that set and have enough of it in stock that you will be chewing through a lot of that product before you start seeing a shortage. That would just be my feelings on that particular situation there. Back to the chat. We got Tactical Peace. Thank you so much for joining in. MC, thank you so much for being here. Spencer Harper, thank you as well. Thank you guys for the input on this. So we're going to sit here. Tactical Peace, sealed at 80 or missing wrap. I wouldn't buy any of it missing wrap because you can buy it sealed between 85 right now. If it's $80 with missing wrap, I wouldn't even bother with it. I would just buy 85 with it wrapped, and that way you're safe to go on Pokemon 151. I think they said that they might see 80. Like they said, it's all depending on their stock now. Now they're depending on stock that's coming from Japan. They know they got some coming. They know they got a bit coming, but they don't know how much exactly until it's all in their hands before they say anything. But they said currently 85, 84.99 is kind of where a lot of them are selling it currently. They said if they do get a lot, they might drop down to 80, but it's selling so fast. They said it's selling so quickly that it really isn't a big deal. It isn't a big deal for them to hold it at 85. They could go up to 100, they feel, and they would still sell out rather quickly. If they all moved back up to $100, they feel that it would just continue to move. Either that, or if someone stayed low, it would sell so fast they'd fall right back into their price point. MC, I got a few cases of 151 with boxes around $80 price. Happy to hold that sealed. Yeah, that's a fantastic price. Like I said, I did get them at 68 through, but I was, because I'm a frequent flyer buyer through that particular place. His lowest was about 75 to the general public. Now he's at $100 a booster box, and he said he's probably not. He sold out all of his stock because he knew he was getting new stock in. So some of them just rotated stock in the English market. And I think that's a big factor why we saw that price dump. Why it went down to like $75 a booster box at one point is a lot of them weren't necessarily buying it, didn't get a reprint like they kind of made it sound. They knew they were getting a reprint and they were holding stock of it that was at $200, so they just dumped a bunch of it, which I think is a reason why we saw a bunch of that occur and why that happened and why we saw all of these particular booster boxes just flush out and go at a really low price. And now some of them aren't lowering the price, they're just restocking themselves for what they sent out. I've almost nah, it's gonna be a bug type. Please no, don't do a bug type evolution. We can skip that. I'm okay with no bug type. Little boxing booties. It's gonna be like a Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan with a little boxer or the boxing shorts. Hitmonlee. I FOMO. Yes, please, Spencer, and have the yes, Majin Buu Vegeta V or M on his forehead. That would be really funny. You could go with this all day, just having fun with what potential evolution we could be having. I think that's a really cool way to go. Let's see, MC. Can we just hurry and get that Evolving Skies set for the SV era? No, it doesn't look like we said the new Japanese set's getting announced now, and it doesn't look like that's not going to be it. I think we might see it in the next one. So a lot of speculation has been is that there's a dragon set coming for Japanese, and with that dragon set is the speculation that that's where they're going to do the evolution set, kind of do a counter or the exact same things they did with Evolving Skies, and potentially have a merged dragon evolution set and have that dragon evolution potentially in there. That's why a lot of people have been leaning dragon. I've been hearing dragon evolution from a lot of different places. That's the speculation is that it's going to be a dragon evolution, and that is going to be what they go with, and that's going to be the new evolution, is going to be a dragon type, and that's why they're going to kind of mix it in with the dragon set coming up. So will they do it? Is that what it's going to be? We don't know. They left it very, very vague. They didn't even give a hint to what typing it would be in the video. I kind of wish they would have done like a cool little, like even a hidden Easter egg or something in the background that you could have missed in it, that you could have gone back, but nobody's found it yet. I've watched that video probably 3 dozen times trying to find some little hint or something in the backgrounds even, or someplace in it that would give a hint to what it is. I haven't seen it, so once again, I don't know if that's where it's going to be. Mason asks, where did this come from? Have you seen a new video did you see the new video that Pokemon just posted today? That they were hinting towards a new, if you went to the video, Mason, and you actually opened it up on Facebook where you could add a comment, they had a pop-up comment that you could just put in, that it said, are you excited for a new evolution with a question mark? So they really pushed and speculated on what it was. So, and then I can, like I said, I'll link the video afterwards. I wish I would have linked it beforehand, but I didn't even think about that. So, but thank you for joining in, Mason, as well. I just saw his pop up. Do evolutions look like the final form or middle level? I don't know on that one. They look like a final form to me. If you go to the Mega... Restock Shock told a few buddies like a week ago to scoop up a bunch of Rayquaza VMAX TCGs or trainer galleries. Nobody believed me. It would double in price. Yes, that's crazy. Trainer galleries right now, everything, all them chase cards, all them parts inside of the Sword and Shield right now is just going crazy. Whether it's an alternate art, whether it's a trainer gallery, especially the black border trainer galleries, even the small trainer galleries have gone up in price. Just not nearly the percentages that we're seeing with, like, I always say the black bordered ones are really, really fighting for the top of the list right now. And that's a huge and interesting thing that is all of a sudden it just jumped. And, a lot of people have forgotten about trainer galleries, and it's not something that people look at. It's one of those things that is there, but people are more focused and more on par with 151 and the alternate arts and tag teams, that the trainer galleries really didn't perform as well as a lot of us had thought or hoped that they would have. But we have definitely seen some really big price jumps on all of them. A lot of them have at least doubled in price. Some of them have gone up even more, sometimes 2x, such as that Umbreon. The Rayquaza is one of them. The Missies, or Starmie, all of them. The Umbreon V are all over 100% gains currently in the last couple of weeks, in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So a lot of people are shifting, and a lot of people are definitely scooping up all of these different alternate arts and different trainer galleries and stuff right now. And the pricing is going up extremely fast. And what I have seen too, and like I've mentioned in that video on Friday, is that I have seen trainer galleries now at like card shops that are way undervalued because they aren't checking the stock so much. But I did get in, so I was in the cities and I actually ran into one that was pretty interesting. That it miffed me a little bit, but I get why they did it in one way, but I'll explain it why in another way. I was kind of like, this kind of sucks because I spent a lot of time and then found out what they were doing after I had spent all the time, and it wasn't exactly the most exciting thing to me. But a lot of times though, card shops, I did go to a couple card shops and I did pick up some of these alternate arts and also trainer gallery cards way undervalued for what it is on TCG Player. So you were able to get that investment / flip if you wanted, or just get them investments at a really decent price. Usually they were still about 2 weeks behind on the pricing, a week to 2 weeks behind on the pricing, which means you get that little bit of that buffer inside of there. I really like buying things, even as investment things that I'm going to put away as collection pieces, or if I'm going to put them away as an investment for long term. I definitely like to find those items that have a buffer in them already built in, because then if the market does change and they do retract a little bit, hopefully I'm not way up at the top when I buy, and then if it retracts a little bit, I've got that buffer to where I either A, have time to get out of it if I think it's going to go way past where I'm at, or B, I have an opportunity to just have that come back to where I'm at and still have that availability to sit with it and actually be okay. And going back to the story, before I forget, going back to that story I was going to talk about. So there was one LCS. I thought it was really, really interesting, and a really interesting tactic that they did. It was kind of irritating. Now, if they would have put on the counter, this kind of notification, I would have been fine with it. But I was looking through the case, and there was cards with prices in there. So they had the little sticky, they were in a sleeve, and they had the price on the sleeve. So I went through and I found some really good alternate arts, like the Umbreon V was still like $100, so I was going to buy that. There was a Rayquaza V that was sitting there way underpriced. I don't even remember what the price was on it, but they were all like 2 weeks behind, 3 weeks behind on their actual pricing on them, which was great. So I was going to pick up these alternate arts as I was going through, and thought there was some really good opportunity to pick these up. And when I went down and I actually got done, I picked out like 15 different ones that I was going to purchase. I had about $800 worth of cards, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and purchase these now. And I go up to, he's taking them and putting them up by the front counter as I'm picking them out. And I get there, and instead of just going, and ringing them up, he had a tablet set up, and he would take the tablet and he would literally take the card with the scan tool from, like TCG Players got the scan tool. He would scan the cards. So he would take the card and he would scan it on TCG Player. Even though it had a price labeled on it, he would scan it on TCG Player and increase the price to TCG Player's price. I was not a fan of that. I was not at all a fan of that. That was absolute, to me, not good. That was dirty. Yeah, exactly. I personally, I got out and I told him to keep all the cards. I don't want them now. I mean, even if they weren't like way undervalued, I get it. But the fact that you were scanning them as they were labeled, and he said, "Oh no, we scan them Yeah, 1-star review. We scan them at the register to account for that. And it's like, then why do you have a price tag? If you would have put a sign on there that said, we sell cards at market value, at TCG market value, I would have just not even spent the time. I spent like probably close to half an hour going through all these cards, picking out the ones I wanted that were in good condition and good shape. And he scans this thing, and he scans them after I spent all this time and tells me that now this Umbreon V is $210, and he's like adjusting this price, and it's like, dude, I'm not gonna do that. So they were over in a town called what the heck is the name of the town we were over at? Cambridge, Minnesota. I'm not gonna put in the name. There's a few of them there. I'm not gonna name drop on the channel. But if you are in Cambridge, Minnesota, be sure you're cautious about that. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And that's just it, tactical piece. I'm going down. I'll go back to the top. Don't worry, I'm not gonna skip everybody's comments. But I'm just going through this right now. I'm trying to stay in the live section of it. But yeah, I agree. I mean, if they were to just post, if they didn't have price tags on it, I would ask them and say, what's the price of this? And it would have been like one card in. I would have spent, 2-3 minutes, and it wouldn't have been a big deal. I've been like, oh, okay, if you're doing that, I maybe would have still looked around and gone through it, but it's just one of those things, if you're gonna do that, just post it. Tell me that. Put a tag. Don't put label. I mean, don't put stickers on it with the price. If you're gonna put pricing on it, that's the pricing it should be. I mean, I shouldn't have been spending a half an hour picking these cards up, thinking I'm getting a good value on these cards, just to find out that you were gonna scan them on TCG Player anyways, and then upcharge me on every one of them. The worst part is like I said to my wife, I said, the worst part is that when they bought those cards, that means that they bought them at that value. So when they bought them from a customer, they probably got them for 70 to 50% under the value they had them listed at in the counter. And that would have been their profit margins if it went up a little bit and they figured a little bit. But man, they're doubling up on what they paid someone for them cards too, which I understand. It's a business thing. I mean, if you would have posted it, it was just frustrating. To me, I was just kind of like completely miffed when I walked out of that one, because I'm like, if you would have just posted it on the counter, if I hadn't spent almost over a half an hour looking through cards to try and buy at a discounted price or a good value, that would be fine. I would have been just like, cool. No, I understand that's business. It's fine. I'm not going to spend time sitting here digging through these at TCG Player pricing. If I'm going to buy them, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to just buy them on TCG Player. I mean, that probably been where it gone. So, but just be cautious. If you're in Cambridge, Minnesota, just be careful of the, there's like 5 or 6 card shops in there. Just one of them was, kind of a putz. Moving through here, Quadrills, thank you so much for joining in. Hey man, favorite Pokemon channel. Really love your insight. Bug type would be a weird evolution. Absolutely agree. Let's not go bug. Jacob, thank you so much for stopping in. This is my guy, my go-to channel. Thank you so much. Once again, greatly appreciated. Restock Shock. I don't think we'll get an evolution or an Evo Skies tier set in the Scarlet and Violet era. If it does happen, I got 2 to 5K ready. Exactly. I mean, honestly, would they do it? I wouldn't put it past Pokemon Center at all to do it. I'm just going to be 100% honest. It's just, it wouldn't, the amount of volume and sales that they got with Evolving Skies, could they try and recreate a similar set in Scarlet and Violet era? This close to the time frame of the release of Evolving Skies, you're out of it long enough that you're able to do that and get in on it and actually have an opportunity to build another set similar to it. And you knew dragons, you knew the evolution sets were gigantic. Even evolution, I think if you just did an evolution set, I think it would be fantastic. Now, I'm not saying they're building one. Just to be 100% clear that anybody's watching this now or later, I'm not saying that is occurring at this point in time, that they've announced this kind of set. It's all speculatory. It's all just kind of up in the air. I don't even know what typing of evolution it is. It's just been said on like Reddit and a lot of other locations that it's dragon sets coming in Japanese. With a dragon set coming, maybe they're going to make a dragon evolution. That's where that's all coming from, and everything's all speculation at this point in time. Next era will have one, possibly. I just don't know if they're going to wait that long for it to actually happen, in my personal opinion. Evan K, thank you so much for stopping in and joining the chat. Do you think by the end of the year, cheaper trainer gallery cards will go from, say, $10 to $20 like the Blaziken VMAX? I think so. I think the yellow board, all of them are moving up somewhat, Evan K. It's just the more popular ones are doing better. You know, like the Starmie, you got the Misty and Starmie. Those ones are doing extremely well. Them are growing extremely nicely. And in general, I think that those will. The black border ones are going to continue to go up really nicely. Even the Blaziken and all that. They're all moving. And if you haven't purchased into them at this point, I'd be watching them very closely because I don't think it's going to be long before we see that vacuum start pulling up even the lesser known ones like the Blaziken and the Corviknight. Those ones, the yellow border ones are also moving up. So I've been looking at a couple of just the regular, like the Pikachu and the Gengar, and those ones are also moving up as well. They're not making the leaps and bounds like we're seeing with the more chase ones, but they are definitely seeing some increase as well. There's a lot of upward pressure right now on those particular products and those particular cards currently in the market. And it's all going down the pricing of the sets as well. I mean, a booster box of all these sets has gone up so much, it's naturally going to somewhat draw up the value of the card. Now, I'm not saying they're necessarily direct correlation that the booster box goes up this much, a card's going to go that much, or all cards are going to do that. But in trends, typically the top chase or the better cards are going to see the most influx as a booster box sells out, and that price continues to increase as well. You kind of see that influx all the way through, that it actually starts to draw everything up. Evolving Skies, booster box goes up to $700, Moonbrand goes to $1,500. You know, Rayquaza goes almost to $1,000. Lost Origin sells out. What's the Tina do? All of a sudden, that one goes up by $200. So as these products continue to disappear, we start seeing correlation to, not necessarily direct correlation of pricing, but we do see increase of value of some of the chases in these particular boxes due to the fact that people are comfortable now. The stock is gone. Even myself, I'm more comfortable buying alternate arts and trainer galleries at this point in time due to the fact that I truly believe that we're not going to see any more reprints of these particular sets, which in turn gives me the security that, hey, if I buy a card at this point in time, there's probably not going to be a massive reprint to really crush that pricing on that particular card. Once again, me even as a collector, I'm more likely to buy my collector cards out of those particular sets at this point in time and put them away because I'm not afraid that they're going to lose a ton of value here in the next year or two because of reprints. Let's see. Grim the Nerd, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Glad to see ya. Okay. Nope, just jumped the bomb. Hold on. Restock shock. Some LGSs are trafficking. They will let you do the heavy lifting and sort through their value and then look up the prices on TCG Player. That's exactly what had occurred. And in a way, if they didn't have the prices marked, then they would have just... My biggest complaint is they had prices marked on a product and the prices were there, and then all of a sudden they changed the price at the register to market value. Now, if they would have put a sign on the counter or put some kind of identification that they were going to do that, I would have had no problem. I would have just walked away and not been interested. But the fact that they didn't do that, didn't have any notification anywhere in the building that they were doing that, had prices on cards, that tells me what the price is. That's the price. You shouldn't be marking it up at the register after I spent all the time finding these particular cards. If you want to price change the labels on every one of those cards and then be good. I mean, that way at least your pricing's correct, or honor the price on the card at least. Andrew Mason, I was actually going to answer you back here this evening. Where can I get some of those Pokeball display stands you got? I 3D print them. That's where I get them. So, let me see. Yeah, this one. So, this is the latest design. Here, I can do this. Whoa, give me 1 second. I'm going to make a little bit of bump. If I bump the mic, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to. Okay. So, I'll move my keyboard just a little bit out of the way. Here we go. So, yeah, I can do this real quick. I think it's this one. All right, so there we go. And I can turn on my light. There we go. So yeah, I just 3D print these. So I just take a standard Pokeball, Andrew, and ladybugs for days. And then, of course, I buy these. I just bought this from Temu. It wasn't anything too crazy. But I just 3D print all these. So I 3D print them. It's an insert that goes inside of this, inside the Pokeball. There's a little bit of play because they're all a little bit different. So, and then it's just the lock system. So it locks in on there. You take this. Card sits in there really, really nicely. It's nice. So even if you bump the shelf, the worst it's going to do is kind of fall forward like that. So it's built in enough to where it won't fall. So if you get an earthquake, or like I have children, and then the top has two different grooves because the Great Ball, just so everybody sees, the Great Ball is really thick on here, while some of the other ones, like this Ultra Ball, so the Ultra Ball is really thin. So I've designed it so you can either put the Ultra Ball top on it, and it kind of kicks a little bit off to the side. So that just kind of sits into this groove here. So there's two grooves. You pick it. Pick which groove fits your thing. So then you put the Ultra Ball in like that. Or there's the older style, and of course the Great Ball in the current ones are also in this groove. So then you put it in that groove. So that's all that there is to it, Andrew. Just hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, I can send you a link on that too, so you can get it. If you want to order some, I haven't had them up for a little bit, but I can definitely print some and get them out for you if you'd like it. So yeah, that's pretty much the display, and then it's dead right now, but these can be hooked up, and it actually lights up. So I got a little thing and it lights up the back of the cards as well. So I haven't plugged them in. I was going to plug them all in so that they light up, but yeah, that's where them stands come from. Hopefully that answers that question. But yeah, I'll send you, I'll make a new link for it, and that way you can order it if you like. So let me change back to the other screen. But yeah, that's where I get them displays. I make them myself. I design that to be used with like the standard Pokeballs, Poketins, and all that other good stuff, so that you can get that. Let me put my mic back there. But yeah, so if you want, I can send you a link. If not, PM me on Instagram. And if you PM me on Instagram, then I will also, or DM me on Instagram, I will get you the information, and I can make up something for that. Let's see. Karen Best, thank you so much. Hear about Australia getting a special delivery Umbreon. I heard rumors. I have not heard any confirmation on it. So if they are, that's going to be a really, really big fight and really crazy. So yeah, if that's the case, it'd be really, really cool. But no, I have not heard any confirmation, and I've heard rumors of it, but I have not heard. But yeah, it'd be really cool. It'd be really cool chase. Imagine the price of that beast. I just watched Mason put up there. What? Come on, no way. Like I said, I've just heard rumors. It's weird, the rumors I hear. I won't say yes or no to any of it, just because to me it's just all speculation. I mean, people say a lot of things and it never ever happens. So until I hear some viable source like Pokemon, or at least Pokebeach or Pokeguardian, put that information out there that says that, and yeah, I don't truly believe it personally. Evan K, I agree with. If this will continue and go all the way down to the cheaper alternate arts and trainer galleries as well, but a correction is definitely needed. There's going to be a little bit of a retract when it hits the top point. That's pretty much the typical when it comes down to it, is that we see a lot of this heavy increase like this. When it's straight up, it always concerns me on any market, even stock market, anything, any kind of market at all, even housing or property. When you see a market go straight up, like the curve just goes straight up, typically that means there'll be a correction. Now, not 100%. There's always a chance it could go up for that for a really long time and possibly just plateau and go flat. But in general, overall, it's pretty common to see, them actually plateau and get there. Yeah, I'm just seeing Andrew Mason. If anybody's interested in those, let me know on Instagram, and I can send you I can make up a link and get the material to print more of them. It might be a little delay on getting the printing out, but I can give you a link so that we could purchase some, so I could order material and I can print them all out as well. So yeah, just hit me up on Instagram. Anybody that's interested, hit the link for Instagram and leave me a DM in there, and I will get back to you on that. Or, you know, even if you want, go to Discord, join the Discord, and then you can leave me a DM there as well. Then I'll find out what I got for account, and I can get together some pricing and then get you some numbers, and that way we'll be all set. Mason, yeah, that was dirty, very much dirty. The stores near me don't put price tags on cards to avoid that issue. Yeah. Oh, we got a big jump. Where are we at? Okay. Restock. No doubt that would rub me the wrong way too if I just looked through a bunch of cards and they try to reprice on me. Yeah, exactly. That's what rubbed me the wrong way. And I wasn't mad that they did it. I mean, it actually made sense to do it, but and I mean, if that's going to be your business model, just advertise it. That's absolutely fine. If you want to go that route, advertise it when I walk in the door or put it on the card case so I can see it. And I wouldn't have been mad at all. I would have gone, yeah, no, it's fine. It is what it is. No problem. This is now you're, you know, just everybody does business differently. I don't care about business. It's just when you put price tags on something, honor the price you put on there. Don't be scanning stuff at the register and then changing the price after I spend over a half an hour looking through cards. iFOMO, thank you so much for putting up the link as well. We do have merch now, and I actually just got mine in, and I forgot them upstairs. I was going to put one on tonight, but I do have new merch as well. So there are 3 different types of shirts and logos out there right now. So if you hit the link and you want to support the channel, definitely check out the merch. It's really, I got some really cool ones. One of them's just my logo, and the other ones are just a couple fun ones with my character on them. So definitely check that out if you got some time, and greatly appreciated. Tactical piece. Restock. I buy singles for my PC from the local stores. I might pay full price, but I will pick whatever copy I want. I bought an Umbreon V alternate art after looking through a stack of them. Yeah, and that's just it. I don't have a problem with that. It's again, you know, I like choosing my card. I do like going to LCSs versus doing on TCG Player. This LCS didn't have a huge selection, so it wasn't like they had a stack of Umbreon V alternate arts. They had maybe 2 or 3. You know, they had a couple, maybe 3 at the most of any of the alternate arts or the trainer gallery cards. But, you know, some LCSs do have hundreds of copies of some of them. And yeah, it is nice to go through and pick through it if you're trying to get a good personal collection and doing that part. Changing price is bad business. Okay, where are we at? Changing prices, restock. I used eBay mostly these days. I caught 5 Umbreon alternate Vs before Pokerev bought out the market literally 2 days before the buyout. Hello, he's not smarter than me. Yeah, he just caused it to go a little crazy, and then of course said, yeah. I don't think he did anything to buy it out. I don't think he really affected that. It was already going up already, and if you look at the chart, his videos and what he said didn't change the trajectory of them because all alternate arts did that. It wasn't just that. It wasn't just the Umbreon V. Yeah, he focused on that because he said it. And I'm sure someone in his group said, oh, yeah, did you see what you did to the Umbreon V? And, of course, he tried to take credit for it. But overall, the pricing was already moving. It was already going, and all of them did. All the alternate arts did it. It wasn't just the Moonbreon or the Umbreon V. It was all of them, and so many of us have said over and over and over again that the Umbreon V is a better artwork than the VMAX. He might have had a little impression and might have gotten a few more people in on it, but I don't feel that he was the catalyst that sent that through the roof. It was just good timing when he said it, but overall it was all alternate arts that did it at about the same time. Everything started doing this about mid-March. If you go back, look about March 25th, right at that range like I was showing on the video. That's the reason I picked that date. March 25th was the start, and it's just like all the charts, even trainer gallery cards, alternate arts, all of them just started to spike at that point in time. I mean, the Celebi doubled or tripled in price doubled in price in that same time frame. So all of them have done that. It's not just that particular card. Yeah, so you say April 3rd, I'm saying March 25th. I was right there. You know, March 25th was about the starting point where I started to see the graph going up, and after that, it just continues to sail straight up. Some people don't speak on him doing the buyout because they're afraid of Pokemon type losses. he didn't buy them out. I don't think he did. I personally don't. Pokérev's good, don't get me wrong, but he's not gonna cause that kind of flux on all the market. If it was just that card, yeah, I would say absolutely. If it was that card, it was Pokérev. Pokérev saying that did it. It wasn't just that card, though. It's all the alternate arts. It's all the trainer gallery cards. I mean, all of them have spiked right there at that time frame. So, yeah, it was just good timing for him, but I don't feel that he didn't cause that. He might have maybe pushed it a little further, but he wasn't the sole cause of that spike to occur. I know he likes to think he's that popular sometimes, but no, he's not that popular or that strong. Maybe some other products, maybe some sealed product, you might be able to pull that off, but it was already occurring. Restock shock. Most of us who hound the market daily know what really happened, but I disagree. Okay, let's see. Prince of Peace, thank you so much for joining in. Thanks for the restock info. Really smart stuff, man. And yeah, Andrew Mason, thank you so. Yeah, make sure you check us out there and check that out if you want. And if anybody's interested in the Pokemon stands behind me, just let me know because I can 3D print them bad boys pretty quick. Restock shock. Yep, I tried to inform people when they. Yeah, but the majority of his fans like packs being open. They're not necessarily buying singles and trying to chase markets. If they are, they're buying it for their collection, which is fine, because then they're taking them out of stock. The buyout of Umbreon V alternate arts done by Pokérev triggered the entire market buyout alternate art, which wasn't initiated. That's highly speculatory. Restock. Thank you, Andrew. Drew Teeny, how's it going today? Thank you for joining in tonight. Fjord, what do you think about the yellow border trainer galleries? I think they're going to move slower, but they're doing really well. I think overall they're all the trainer gallery cards, all the alternate arts have potential in them for sure. Do I think they're going to go as fast as the black border? Absolutely not. We have seen a little increase on the yellow border ones. Especially specific fan favorite ones like Pikachu and Gengar have seen a little bit of increase. Bidoof has because of the fact that's playability. But yeah, I absolutely think that they'll do decent too. There's just a lot of them. That's the problem. Is even like the Gengar myself, I've probably pulled that one 8-9 times. Just myself, the Pikachu one as well. So even though there's a lot of them out there, we will see some movement on them. They're just the amount of supply on them is extremely high. Comparatively to like the black border, the V and the VMAX black border ones are definitely going to be the better overall performing. Mason, so homie let you pull the cards out of the case and didn't think to mention, these prices aren't real. No, he didn't. He absolutely didn't. I spent 30 minutes with me handing this guy, telling him the cards I want, him taking them over by the counter and putting them on a pile for me. And then he started checking them out. And it's like, I was already at like $800 just by what I was picking. And then he went and tried to change the price. And it's like, no, I'm not paying double. I'm not paying $1,600 for these cards. You're insane, dude. No, I wasn't too excited about that at all. Restock shock. I'm saying Pokérev specifically triggered the Umbreon V, not other alternates. He triggered a domino effect on the alternate. I don't think he did. It's the market in general. It's not just alternate arts. It's all of them. Not that many people have. There aren't too many people out there that can have that mass effect. What you're describing, it would be literally a black swan event. You have one individual creator having enough pull to cause the whole market to go in just alternate arts and trainer galleries. It's just not likely. It's, you might have a buyout. Like I said, if it was just the Umbreon, or the Umbreon was a huge outlier, but all of them did it at almost the exact same time. So either all of them got bought out and there's someone put a ton of money into this market. I mean, a ton. You think about the amount of money you would have to spend to take trainer galleries, to take V alternate arts, to take VMAX alternate arts, and drive those prices up to where they all equally increase in price based on their level of rarity. Yeah, it's just it's impossible for me to believe that you could orchestrate that to that extent. If it was even the top chase cards, I would be like, yeah, it could be the top chase cards. I get that. I could definitely go with it. It was all alternate arts, all the way down to that Celebi V, all the way down to the Rapidash V, all the way through, all of them. It's just a lot of money. A lot of money would have had to have come in at that point in time, and there isn't a lot of people with that kind of money to do that to every single one of them congruently and equal. You know, a lot of them all equally across the board, doubling in price very quickly. Umbreon V double in price, Celebi V double in price, Beedrill double in price, Lilligant double in price. I mean, all the oddities, all these alternate arts. It's just, it's not very likely. It's not a very, very likely notion. If it was only specific, it was a Rayquaza V, Umbreon, you know, all those. Yeah. Pokenufo exclusive. Thank you so much for joining in tonight. What's a better buy? Black Rayquaza, Pacho Pikachu, Raw, or spend money on raw alternate arts? That is going to be completely your call there, Pokenufo. If you like the Pancho Pikachus, maybe that one. If you like alternate arts, it's going to be the alternate arts. That's what I'm going to say on that one. Reset. I'm not saying the fans bought anything. He did it. He did it himself. Only the Umbreon V alternate, not the other alternates. Kanto Green, long time no see. Glad to see you here. I got 13 cases of Lost Origins waiting game now. Yep, exactly. Now we're all in the waiting game. So thank you so much, Kanto Green. Been a while to see you. Glad to see you back in the chats. Techno Peace. Where we at? Pokey, are you wanting to invest or just, yeah? And that's what I mean. It's going to be depending on what you want to do. It's going to be depending on what you like. I mean, there's a lot of things behind that one. PokeRev got enough money to buy out Umbreon V-Mart. He's not poor. You're right. He's not poor, but still, that's a lot of money, and it's a lot of potentially tying down money for a long period of time. If it doesn't work, you're screwed. And PokeRev ain't going to put himself in that position. He has no... His business model has no gain for doing that. If you think about it, his business model and his investment model that he's been doing has no gain for buying out all the Umbreon Vs. He sells sealed product. Causing the Umbreon V to go up is not going to pad his bottom line very much. It's not going to really increase the value enough to make him to worry about that one specific card. Yeah, so if he buys it and he doubles up the 100 of them he bought, he's selling more than that in his Poke Packs than he is in what he make on that. And there's a potential that there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of them sitting out there, and it's, yeah. If he did, he did. I mean, good for him, but it just doesn't look like it. His mystery packs sell very well. That's what his main bulk of his business is now, and then openings. New evolution, potentially. That's what the video that was released today. Bug type. Kanto Green just got my PSA returns sent. 16 Blaziken alternate arts. Got 11 PSA 10s. Very nice. That's a decent return right there. Congratulations on the Blazikens. Jutini just bought a Gengar SIR for $150 in person. It's a 10 and I'm dusted. Am I dusted? I don't know what you mean by am I dusted. I guess you want to clarify, do you think that you're in good shape? Do you think that you're in trouble? I don't know. I don't even know what a Gengar SIR is going for currently, to be 100% honest. Spencer Harper, no one legitimately thinks Brev did it. Yes, it's called FOMO. This is the literally happened with collecting Pokemon. He did what Black Swan event as well. I'm not buying it. That's literally the market reacting to his buyout. He didn't buy all the alternate arts. He only bought out the Umbreon V. It's still, yeah, I could argue this all day. I mean, it could have happened. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying that PokeRev couldn't have bought all the Umbreon Vs on TCG Player, on Troll and Toad, on eBay, bought all of them in a mass buyout, spent, $100,000 to do it, because he has the money. I'm not saying he doesn't, but in general, it's not his MO. It's not going to benefit him in a way that's going to, even if he bought the Umbreon V, so he goes from $100,000 to $200,000, but he takes a huge risk. Why wouldn't he take that $100,000 and make more Pokeref packs and triple that money? He's almost quadrupling his profit on those Pokeref packs to actually, going through. So why wouldn't he, instead of double his money, why wouldn't he quadruple that $100,000 by selling Pokeref packs? It just doesn't make sense. There's more value in other things that he could do besides trying to make that particular card double in price. So it could happen. I'm not saying it's not. He could be like Danny's saying, and welcome to the chat, Danny, that he's a mastermind manipulator, and he knew that if he bought all these cards, that the price of them would go through the roof. And yeah, I mean, it's a lot of risk. It's a huge amount of risk, and for what? Just logically think. If you had $100,000 and you knew you could potentially double, maybe triple that, but yet I could sell Pokeref packs that I know for sure sell at 4 times cost of what I put into them, why wouldn't you just 4x your money? Potentially risk not getting stuck with it. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, you could go with it. You could fight this all day. We could literally sit here and fight in circles on why it makes sense and why it doesn't make sense. I'm going to kind of just leave it at that. Restock, no offense. It's just, we could sit here, fight back and forth all day on it. And it's just not going to get us anywhere because it's all just opinion based at this point. We have no evidence either way. And that's where it's going to stick. Kanto Green. I started buying Blazikins 2 years ago at $80 to $90. It's crazy. Yeah, them things have gone insane. A lot of them. I mean, even the Espeon, I bought it. Like I said, I was buying Celebi Vs. This is cheap alternate art, but I really felt that it was extremely underpriced. And look at it now. It's double in price now this year, which is fine. I mean, you're holding $20, $25 Celebi Vs, and now they're going for $50. That's a great little twist and a turnaround from buying them from 2 years ago even. Spencer, thoughts on Crown Zenith moving forward? Feels so undervalued, such a loaded set. I feel Crown Zenith is weird. I honestly thought that we would see a really big value jump in that particular set by now. I mean, we went through that reprint. We got through that ETB reprint last fall. Do I think that they're going to reprint more Crown Zenith here this fall? I give it a 10% chance. Very likely, in my opinion, but maybe that's part of the reason why people are just holding back is because we've seen holiday sets like Shining Fates get reprinted so heavily that I think people are maybe cautious about it, that it could actually retract or that it could, get a reprint here this holiday season again, because it's only, a year? This will be year 2, so it's only a year and a half right now, just under a year and a half. No, it'd be 2 years. So it'd be 2 years now. Right? No. Now I'm trying to remember. It was printed in 2023. So no, it's just over a year old at this point in time. So I feel like there's a chance. And that's why I think is a lot of worry for myself. It's part of the reason why I have not been doing much with Crown Zenith personally is, in my mind, in my thought process is that it's a holiday set. It's a very, very sought after holiday set, and there is a very good chance that Pokemon could go, yeah, this is a great thing to print for the holiday along with 151, so here you go. So yeah, some ways I want to get it on Crown Zenith. I think it's very underrated. I think that there's some great opportunity. I think that there's some great value potential in there with how loaded it is, but on the other flip of the scale, I'm afraid that there'll be more coming. And I guess when we get past this holiday season and there's no reprints, I would maybe think that we would see Crown Zenith do a little bit better. Tactical Piece Pokerev or Rev probably sells thousands of mystery packs. He's making his money. Yep. Kanto Green, also, do you think CGC will ever recover? And what's your take on the GameStop buying PSA slabs? So I went over to the PSA slabs at the beginning. Personally, I think it's absolutely crazy. And talking to my local, well, this is right as we heard the announcement on it. It is, they weren't sure how that was all going to lay out. They thought that they were going to collect them, give you store credit, and actually put a start date on that store credit so you wouldn't be able to do it immediately, and then unlock it once they proved the card was real and got it authenticated. I don't know if that's how they're that guy behind the counter really couldn't even tell me much. He was guessing as much as everybody else. So now it's rolled out. I'm kind of curious to see Pokemon Knowledge's video now or live where they were talking about it and had an individual go and actually try and do the system. I know it's up and running now, so it'll be really interesting to see. But do I think CGC will ever recover? I don't know. I think that they've lost a lot of Pokemon enthusiasts. I think they've lost a lot of TCG enthusiasts. So I think that they're going to recover because they're going to do things like the, miscut cards, the error cards, that kind of stuff is where their value is. I have an error card that I'm going to be sending there as well. I got a miscut card too, where it's way off center. I think that's where their value is going to be. But I don't think that they're going to recover in the TCGs. It'll take years, I think, for them to be comfortable. They're going to have to show to a lot of TCG, even like myself, they're going to have to really do a big job of proving that they are not going to change their stuff again. If they can show that in a couple of years that they're not going to change their scales, not going to do weird things, then I think that they'll recover and start getting back a lot of the potential, but they're going to have to pull that off first. Restock shock, because without triggering an alt-art power, and in turn, pretty much most sealed Sword and Shield booster boxes gone, meaning his mystery packs go, wow. Once again, he just increases the price of them. I mean, he has got so much stock back there. I don't know if you realize that, Restock, he has pallets of these stocks. Pallets from distributors and from locations. He is not worried about running out of product, sealed product at this point in time, with it being sold out on Pokemon Center. Pokemon Center selling out of it did nothing to him except for increase the value of the sealed stock. Though logically speaking, he'd have to gamble hard on a complete market buyout. He would. I mean, it'd be a really big gamble, very big gamble. And like I said, me as a business person, I'm just going to tell you, PokeRev is very much a business-oriented type of person. His whole thing has gone into a business structure. And as a business structure myself, like I told you, if I had $100,000, if I were going to put money on $100,000 and say, okay, I got $100,000, I could put it into something that I know sells and sells out rather quickly and very quickly, and I'm guaranteed to double, triple, or quadruple my money on this particular product, or put it in buying in a buyout. I'm going to go buy a specific card out in Pokemon Center all over the place. Go and buy tons of this product. Or go and buy all this alternate art. I'm going to buy all the Moonbreons. I'm going to buy all the Umbreon Vs. I'm going to buy all the Blazikens. And there's a chance that I create a Black Swan event on this, and all of it accelerates. It's just not likely. It's as a business speaking, I would take the guarantee money rather than the speculative money. That's me speaking. That's what I would do. I wouldn't take a speculation. It's just not worth the gamble. It's not worth the risk on a speculation. You're better to take the guaranteed money. I'd rather double my money and know I'm doubling that money than send out $100,000 and hope I double that. Or goes the other way. All of a sudden the value of that card tanks for some reason and I'm down to $50,000 out of my $100,000. It doesn't make sense. It's not worth the risk. That's just me. I don't know if your buddy is aware, but PokeRev and his buddy CTR bought tons of vintage packs in 1999, about $100,000 worth, before the boom, like he's a businessman who saw it coming. No, CTR, they've been buying packs all the way since 2016. I mean, they've been buying packs forever, Restock. I mean, you talk to Cool Trainer Ryan, he even talked about it even on with OKJ Love. The first big purchases they made with him and PokeRev were back in like 2016, 17. Even back in 15, I think he said they were doing some purchases and started. So he's been doing big purchases for a long period of time. It wasn't just 19. And buying $100,000 of product is definitely, like he said, you always continually made money. You always continually saw profit. It's just now, instead of the market being $1, $1 per booster box, you're now making doubling the price of those booster boxes. This is the amount of income has changed. But they've been buying stuff since 2016 at the minimum. I thought he said 2015. So, yeah, they've been doing buyouts forever. That's nothing new to them. It wasn't just 2019. They did it in 2020. They've done it in 2021. They've done it in 2022. I mean, they've done it forever. So it's just not something that's going to be, that's not the first time. And it's not the first reasoning that's happened. Crown Zenith 6 singles are going to the moon right now. Check PSA pricing. Yeah, I don't really watch PSA. I could go ahead and check it. But if PSA is going up, then we're definitely going to see a great value increase on the singles for sure. Especially the bigger chase ones. He's not worried about running out of product. His move is to move his mystery packs. Yep. Danny CTR had to talk PokeRev into. Yeah, oh yeah. Cool Trainer Ryan's the one to talk to PokeRev, and actually he's the one that's kind of. I'm not saying they both aren't educated and they're not both not good, but I mean overall CTR seems like the one from discussions and lives, even with them with PK and stuff. It sounds like CTR has been the one that's been making the decision, but there again, CTR only really does sealed product. He doesn't have much interest in singles either. He has some, he keeps collection pieces, but tactical heading out night. Yes, thank you so much, Tactical Piece. Thanks for stopping in. Great to have you in the live. Spencer Harper. Yeah, I'm about to call her quits too. I'm already going a little bit overtime. So, like I said, thank you everybody that's joined in. Once again, iFOMO posted up the merch link. Make sure you guys check out the merch too. Greatly appreciate it. Help support the channel and get a cool merch from the store. I do a buyout if I knew the entire market will be. Yeah, but that's just it. You would do it if you knew. If you knew the Black Swan event was going to happen, you would do it. You don't know the Black Swan event is going to happen if you do it. If you're the first one, you don't know. So I wouldn't take the risk unless I had some kind of securities in it. I just wouldn't do it. That's just me. It'd have to be an organized buyout. You'd have to really, really do an under the radar organized buyout. Because if they find out you're doing a buyout, people just raise the pricing really quickly. If there's any indication that people are going to buy out, if I hear news or any kind of information that the buyout's going to happen, I am instantly going out and I am lifting my prices by double. You want to buy it, you're buying out me at double. That's fine. He's known for taking risks. He did in 2019. He's taken multiple risks. Ma, thank you so much for jumping in. Tom B, thank you so much for stopping in. Are you buying now or saving up for Black Friday deals around the Pokemon time? Pokemon likes to do reprint. Both. I'm still buying into stuff, especially Sword and Shield stuff. I'm still buying stuff. I just got an opportunity at these finally. So I went and opened one. I got Tyranitar. These got 3 Evolving Skies. I'm really focusing in on Evolving Skies, really trying to get everything I can, any product I can right now on MSRP or slightly under MSRP that has Evolving Skies. That's my number one focus right now. I'm getting everything I can that has that. That's definitely where I'm at currently. If you ask me what I'm buying all these weird products just to pull packs. I'm getting packs of Evolving Skies, and that way I have them. And that way I can hold them long term. Let's see. You slipped. I saw Shining Celebi. He does go in a single. Well, I did say Cool Trainer Ryan. He isn't big in the singles. He does have singles. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying he's bigger in a sealed product than he is in singles. He always has been. Danny, all the gold cards and Crown Zenith are over $100 in PSA 10. Well, that's fantastic because Even the raw Giratina is $80, I think, right now, raw. So, I mean, the gold cards have gone up in value. I've been seeing them climb fairly quickly, but a lot of the other Crown Zenith cards are still kind of stalled out a little bit. Mr. Beanie, thank you so much for joining in here. What are your thoughts on those evolutions? I like them. I have quite a few of them. I think that they're really cool, and I honestly like them as a display piece. I like the textured box. I think overall they're going to be a really sought-after item, being the OG Pokemon or OG evolutions. So I think it's a really good set. Are they worth to buy for $270 for a set of 3? Let me see. Let me do a little bit of looking. Can I do better price per box? So that's $90 a box. I mean, you're only $40. I mean, 100% honest, you're only, because they were 40 or 30, $49.99 a piece, so they're $90 a box. You know, over the last couple of years, that's still not too bad. But that's exactly where they were pretty much selling ever since they came out and went out of stock. So I mean, they haven't moved much, but I think overall there's going to be some really good value. So yeah, I definitely think that those 3 I would have no problem personally picking them up for $270 if I hadn't already purchased them at the stores. But yeah, they're definitely going to be some value in those in the next few years for sure, because that's the only way you get the alternate art, Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Flareon in the V and VMAX form too from evolutions. So that's the only way you're getting it too. So if those start disappearing and the price goes up, those particular cards on TCG Player, the value of those boxes may increase, and they might actually, I'd have to look inside of that box, they might actually have Evolving Skies in them as well. To long-term hold though, consider how long. Yeah, that's exactly it. Them promos are what I'm really looking at, and I think there's Evolving Skies in there as well. So there's kind of a double banger potentially. I don't know about the Evolving Skies. Check them and look, but I'm pretty sure mine did, but I think they did a second run of those as well where it may not have. Grim the Nerd, I keep going back and forth for my strategy. Very tempted to sell trade my slabs for sealed. You know, if you're comfortable with slabs, stay with slabs. Sealed always does really well. In general, it just sometimes takes some time. Some do well, some don't. Sometimes they're all over the place. So, yeah, I think overall, it's up to you. I mean, that's kind of your call on what you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable with slabs, and go with it. If you're looking for a decent investment that actually has some good track record, sealed is really good, but certain slabs will outperform sealed as well. So it's kind of a hit and miss, up in the air, whatever you're comfortable with. TCG Deals, thank you for joining in. I just read TCG Player's email about why prices are going crazy. They specifically say it's a buyout, which I, as a collector for years, saw happening. So glad I didn't buy into the FOMO. It hurts the community. Well, if that's the case, if that's what they're putting it on, then they would have the data to be able to show that. Now, it'd be interesting to know the data on that fact, you know, TCG Deals, is for the alternate arts, how many people are buying out? I mean, is it just one particular person? Is it, you know, someone's buying 100, you know, one specific card? Is it they're buying multiples? I mean, that'd be kind of cool data to see. Definitely don't buy. I mean, if you haven't bought into it, and even my videos lately, I haven't been saying buy into it. It's just an advisory of what's occurring. So if you have been sitting on them as investments, now might be a good time, if it's a buyout, to be able to jump in on that and get that opportunity. That's not a hot take. that is an absolute. You're dead on those ones. Restock. I don't think that's a hot take at all. And that's my thought too right here, the 50%. I think honestly, those particular ones, the Espeon, the Glaceon, the Leafeon, the Sylveon, all the other VMAXs, I think are going to go up in price if that Moonbryon continues to go up. You're right. I would see them being at 40 to 50% value of that particular card here in the near future. That's my feeling as well. I definitely think that there's some great opportunity in those Evolution VMAXs. Okay, one Evolving Skies inside of them. I thought there was at least one, possibly two in the ones I have. Yeah, there's no Evolving Skies. There's a first print and a second print. Both waves have evolving skies. Second print has 2 Evo skies, which is slightly superior to the first one. That's what I'm trying to remember. I know the first one had, I know that it had, I thought mine have 1 or 2, and I don't remember for sure. They're in storage, so I have to go pull them out and find out what's inside of mine. I thought I looked about a month or 2 ago, and I thought it had at least 1, possibly 2. Mean Beanie. Currently selling my slabs on eBay Vault, or on the eBay Vault, with no sales fee before it shuts down in a week, and buying sealed. Thoughts on that? I think it's good. I think that the fact that that used to be a free service, there used to be some good value in it, being able to make those good plays through the eBay Vault, and now pretty much you got crushed by the fact that now PSA is going to ramp the pricing on those particular sales, is definitely a good factor for maybe jumping out of it, especially on them low end slabs, them low price slabs, how high they're charging on that percentage rate. Definitely a big factor. Danny, I'm going to go into restocks here, and then I'm going to have to call it a night, guys. I know we're getting a little bit late, and I always try and stay at about no later than an hour and a half. So thank you guys, everybody. It's been staying with us tonight. Greatly appreciated. Once again, hit that like button as a reminder as I'm getting the last 3 comments here. Hit that like button, help out the stream a little bit. And second of all, make sure that you guys check out the merch store that's linked down below. Helps us, it does support the channel, helps out, and it does help move things along a little bit too as well. Danny, there are more people holding alternate arts than we think. We're waiting for this to happen. Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've been talking about alternate arts since they were released in Battle Styles. Let's be 100% honest. Most of us have been collecting them since that point in time, knowing that there is value inside of them. And what really gave us hope, and for me, what really gave me the last sense that it was going to actually accelerate and we were going to see this, was when tag teams finally went. I mean, I talked about 2 years ago buying Team Up at $800. It was like $780. And then talking about how tag team cards are very underrated at that point in time, and that you should consider picking some of those up. Yeah, it took over a year, but that did end up happening. Eventually, people did catch. Team Up went up to $1,800, $2,000. The alternate, or the tag team cards in there did go up in value. It seems like people move. In general, we see people move along to different locations in the Pokemon hobby. It seems like they get priced out eventually. So tag teams went up for a while. Alternate arts did really well because they were the new hype and FOMO fad thing. They went up really well and got up in price. And then what happened is they got really high in price, and tag teams were now undervalued compared to alternate arts and Sword and Shield. So now them exploded. Them got overpriced. They had a little retraction. People came back to alternate arts. You know, the question is are they going to keep stair-stepping between tag teams and alternate arts? Are they going to move into SIRs and IRs that are very underrated, in my opinion? There's some really good opportunity in them. Once again, I've been picking up a lot of SIRs that I feel are very undervalued currently inside. I like the Garnivore SIR is definitely one of them that I've been picking up quite a few of in that particular set. The Roaring Moon one is another one I think is highly undervalued right now. Even the Charizard SIR, I feel that there's potential in that one, depending on if we get a reprint or a heavy reprint of it. So there are some very good undervalued cards right now in the Scarlet and Violet era that now this is if, it's all hypothetical, once again, speculating more than it is investing and knowing things, is that people follow trends, and we've seen the trend go from alternate arts and Sword and Shield to tag teams and Sun and Moon, coming back to Sword and Shield. Now those two are very high in value. People love artwork. People love potential collecting. There might be an opportunity. So we're going to go down here. Most people holding alternate arts for collectors who won't sell them, including myself. A lot of people do. That's the restock is the person I want to sell to. And I've said that before. You're the member in the community I want to buy my card. As an investor and looking at price increasing and value increasing, you're the man I want to buy, because if you're going to buy it and put it on a shelf and never ever sell it again as long as I'm out here, you're going to create a point where my value continues to go up because you're not getting rid of it. I won't see your card come back into the market as a sales thing to be a competitor to me and potentially increase the stock. So yes, you're the guy I want to sell to. Every time I acquire a Moonbryon, I'll remove it from the market. Yep. Pika Pika, thank you so much for joining in. Glad to see ya. Got a couple. What was the other one that I saw here? I'm gonna hit Restock's last question here. I see Danny stock more collectors than you think. Yeah, there's a lot of collectors out there. I have a binder full of alternate arts that I said I'll never sell either. I mean, though there's one of every alternate art in a binder that I won't sell. So them are gone off the market. Last one here, I'm gonna go with Restock Shock with his last one. I think Sword and Shield alternate arts are far superior to tag team alternate arts. And I think SIRs are inferior to alt arts. We need something cooler than SIR to get more alternate art collectors interested, myself included. Yeah, I agree. I think the SIRs currently are far superior to alternate arts. Hot take, it's fine. I think overall the art and the quality, the overall layout of them is far superior to even the alternate arts. I think people just have no interest in Scarlet and Violet, and I think that's the bigger factor with it. Personally, I would much rather. I have more SIRs currently now than I do alternate arts. Number one, the price point. I can get SIRs a lot cheaper, really clean cards, very nice artwork. I mean, that Gardevoir card, absolute fire. Absolute fire card compared to any alternate art right now in the Sword and Shield block. You sit there and you look at all of the SIR. All the SIRs are like, they are exactly like the V cards with the art quality and with the art and the actual illustrations of it. But you're getting it in a higher rarity than the V cards. So I think personally, I think that that's your call. I mean, that might be a complete hot take both ways. The Gardevoir is an absolute fire card from the base set. We can go through the Iron Valiant. I love the Iron Valiant. I think that's a very well done card. The Roaring Moon, excellent artwork on that particular card, and it continues all the way through. I think that there's going to be a lot of people, when it kicks and when it goes, the SIRs are going to move really fast. That's just my opinion. It's going to take something to kick it off. It's going to get people, maybe age, maybe pricing of the other alternate arts and tag teams finally pricing people out to where they'll go to this range. But once you start seeing some good value increases, I think you're going to see some overall good investment opportunities. My issue is value retention. Well, value retention is only an issue if you buy them too high. If you buy them when they're low, like now, when a lot of these cards go down in value, then your value retention will be there, and you'll have increased on your value. You know, the problem is, though, is that, let's look at it this way. If you were to go buy, let's just say you go out right now and buy that Umbreon V, and you buy it currently at $200. You're in the market now, $210, you buy that particular card. To get double your money on that, it's got to go to $420. You can go right now and buy a lot of the SIRs for $20. $20. You realize that SIR has only got to go to $40 in order for the value, and are people more likely to spend $40 or $420 on a card? Especially if we get an evolution set in the Sword and Shield or the Scarlet and Violet block, where we have a spike and all of a sudden people wanting the illustrated rares and secret illustrated rares, the value could go crazy. And it could just take that little bit of a spark to do it. It doesn't take much to double your money in the lower end. It really doesn't. I mean, a lot of times when you start pushing cards up to getting doubling up, you got to get the $500. People really start to think about it. So, all right, guys. Like I said, this is going to be a conclusion. We're at an hour and a half, so I'm going to have to kick off because I know my wife's waiting for me. So, like I said, thank you everybody that's joined in tonight. I see MAT. One question I caught my eye. What do you think of the Costco Evo ETBs and window tin bundles? They have Evolving Skies ETBs again? I did not know that. Huh. If they do, I would buy the hell out of them. Absolutely buy them. I was at Costco the other day. I never saw a Evolving Skies ETBs in the window tins. I would be all over that. I would fill my cart. I would absolutely cruise out of there with Evolving Skies ETBs, because I know the price of that definitely, definitely would be something. But yeah, I didn't see it this weekend. If it's there, absolutely awesome. If not, if you have them, grab them. That'd be my saying. Yeah, they aren't there anymore. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Yes, nice to talk to you. Restock once again. Greatly appreciated for the chat. Made for a good live overall. I think it was a good discussion point. Once again, thank you guys. Everybody's joined in. Danny, thank you so much. Also, once again, if you guys do want the Pokeball tins, I'm gonna throw it out there. Make sure you guys instant or message me on Instagram. I'll watch for that. If you guys do want those, make sure you hit me up with the messages. I'll make sure I watch for those. Also, make sure you guys check out the link for the merch. It helps out the channel a little bit. I mean, it's not a huge. I make $1.50 on each one of the shirts, so, and that's pretty much going to cover the graphics for the shirts. So, but it does support the channel. It's greatly appreciated overall, and thank you so much for if you do purchase one of those. Other than that, if you do like this kind of content, make sure you guys hit the subscribe if you're new here, and if you're just seeing this for the first time. If so, make sure you guys hit the like button as well. That's greatly appreciated to help that along as well by getting the stream going by hitting that like. Other than that, thank you everybody who's joined in, and we will see you next Tuesday for sure. It might be 8 p.m. again now, so my wife's schedule changed again, so she's going to make sure it's permanent, and if it is, we'll be shifting to 8. It sounds like she said that they were talking about staying at 8 p.m. all the time, so if she does that, great, we'll go with that. Otherwise, it'll be 8 p.m. next week, Central Time. Worst case, it'll stay the same at 9, so I'll try and put the